This thing on. Alright, let's lock in. Boogie. You know him. Probably. You love him. Probably not. You hate him. Most likely. And if you don't know him, get ready to dive in the trenches. Alright, we're going in today.
Fire the warning shot now.
However you feel about Boogs, I'm taking a little look-see into his life as of, late 2023 and some stuff pretty much in the last year, with his recent documentary coming out from Mike Klum. Shout out. Really great work, like legit Netflix type stuff on YouTube. Very high budgeted, very good. I got cotton mouth so fucking bad. Boogie's received an uptick in viewership and just a lot of attention overall, which is something he obviously wants. And as you can tell by the title of the video, I lean more towards the negative side of this whole argument when it comes to Boogie and his pathetic ways. He's one of the most delusional, pathetic, and sad human beings I've come across my entire time lurking on the internet. Not only that, to top all this off, he is a just compulsive liar, a degenerate, and a weird guy. Now, obviously, I'm making this video because there's a few key points that I want to, hit on that I found interesting in my research on the boogster. You've probably already seen like 1,000 videos about this guy, so I just want to harp on the stuff that I found interesting. I'm practically beating a dead horse at this point, but, let's take a look at this fucking guy.
You know the rules. The rules are we're going to go out and eat. We're going to have dinner. Maybe we're going to fuck. And you're going to enjoy a nice lifestyle that you don't normally get to enjoy. It's not a revelation. I like beautiful women. I like to hang out with beautiful women, fuck beautiful women. We all do. I never got to do that. The women I dated were pretty, sure. But
they were like Arkansas 8s, not LA 10s.
With sugaring, I got to fuck some LA 10s, and I think that's cool.
Let's get the elephant out of the room. Nope, pun intended. Not trying to be funny. Boogie's a fat ass. Plain and simple. There's a lot of contributing factors to this. That being his diet, lack of exercise, stuff like that. And I really only mention these two for a reason. They're the absolute core of this guy's fucking issues. Now, I'm no medical professional. I'm not a doctor, but I understand that being on the back end of 400 pounds isn't healthy in any sort of manner. Boogs knows this as well. In fact, he addresses this very issue a multitude of times, but nothing seems to be done about it. He's lost a majority of his stomach due to his bypass surgery, but he somehow afterwards has put on all that weight back, and I think a little more, which is absurd. Once again, I'm not a doctor, but I think you lose like 70 to or like 60 to maybe 90% of your stomach. I don't know the fucking numbers, but this is purely due to the fact that, the boogeyman can't help himself, Like, why in the fuck would you just constantly keep eating Taco Bell, McDonald's, blah, 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 after you get a bypass surgery? You would think a change in your diet, you would try to implement, which he's uttered this, multiple times. Stating in certain videos and all over Twitter, that he really wants to change. He really wants to change. He's so evident in wanting this change, but, it doesn't seem like anything gets done about it. Now, if you're an adult, which Boogie seemingly is one because he's a 50-year-old man, and you were, making pretty good money because he was, with whatever profession you're in. Doesn't have to be Boogie's exact profession, but if you're an adult who has to take care of themselves and provide basic needs for oneself, you would think very important and very top priority would be, having a shelter, having, that home, a foundation to fall back on, you know? Not Boogie. You know, sure, he bought a $250,000 house, and good for him. You know, it's not a mega mansion. It's seemingly a pretty normal, nice house. Like, you know, can't really say too much about it. That's not the problem. The problem lies in the fact that this home's not paid off, you know. And you might think to yourself, well, Boogie's probably made a lot of money off of YouTube because, you know, he's super popular back in the day, and, you know, this is like before like the adpocalypse and all that bullshit, you know, where it was just easy. It was a lot easier for content creators on YouTube to make money. Not easier, but you know what I'm trying to say. You know, Boogie should have a lot of money. Regardless, he's had plenty of time and money for this to not be an issue for him. You know, and he's gotten in these various situations, like his little crypto escapade. And if he had just pulled out when he was up, boy, how, you know, life could be different for Boogie right now. You know, that, and, you know, spending a shit ton of money on horse. Like, these are all things that he's constantly doing to trip over himself. Things could be different, but Boogie's always constantly tripping over himself with the situations he gets himself into. And guess what? According to Boogie, he could lose it all.
Being in the new relationship is great, but I mean, she can't help pay a $2,200 mortgage. But if you take out all of it, you take it out, all I eat is sandwiches every day. All I do is sit here. I don't pay for any Netflix subscriptions. All I pay for is internet, utilities, medical bills, mortgage. If I pay for just that, I need $7,000 a month. I'm not making $7,000 a month, and I have no clue how to do it.
Now, I say that last sentence with a bit of a grain of salt, because our man's a habitual liar. It's just in his blood. He's always contradicting himself, whether it be in one of his own videos he uploads or in an interview that he's doing. You know, he's always saying that he's done with the drama, yet he's constantly adding fuel to the fire, which leads us inevitably, I'm not going to say that again, I'm so high, inevitably into our next pit of despair. So to sort of piggyback off the last subject, Boogie's a goddamn lying machine. He can't help it. You know he can't keep up with all his lies because he's always just contradicting himself. It's very bizarre. It's almost as if he acts like he's not a person who doesn't have thousands of people watching them all the time. He's so self-destructive in that way. In the documentary, it was said that Big B, Boogie, gave Mike all or most of his financial records. And now on a multitude of occasions, on like different podcasts and interviews and shit like that, or I think Boogie even put it on his channel and on Twitter, he said that Mike has fudged the numbers.
You'll see in a lot of interviews, Mike said that he ballparked a lot of these figures. We didn't like sit down and look at receipts or anything. There was no GameStop gift certificates. There was no gift certificates or anything like that. There were gifts, there were trips, there were things along that lines. And most of the time, it wasn't like I took somebody on a trip with me. I would like go to LA to see my friends, to go to the Game Awards, to go film haunt season, stuff like that. And while I was out there, I'd take like one night to meet somebody and hang out.
If that were the case, you know, why didn't you correct it? Apparently, like, for entertainment value or to, like, make things, you know, look more entertaining than they seem to be, which I think is a lie. but you know, it's Boogie we're dealing with. But regardless, him saying like things like this fucks with Mike's credibility as a creator, and he's a relatively new creator in this space. I don't know how many documentaries he's done, but his channel's brand fucking new, you know. And you know, that's something that shouldn't be taken lightly, really. Like, but you know, Boogie's super adamant. Jesus Christ. But you know, Boogie's been super adamant, and in my research, you know, my guy's constantly coming up with different bullshit numbers. You know, for example, the horse in which he spent his money on, and I don't mean that in a derogatory term. They're the escorts, all right, the escorts. How much money has this guy actually paid for pussy? All right. Well, according to various sources, it's anywhere from $40,000 to $200,000. It's a lot of fucking money. Probably like more than the $200,000 if I were to, you know, toss my ring into the hat. But who am I? You know. But either way, if it was on the lower end of that spectrum, that's still an absurd amount of money. $40,000, like that's an expensive car, or you know, maybe that's probably the same amount of money as a fucking truck now. Like, all that for some paid for pussy, bro. it's crazy. Like, you're already paying like the escort fee for the pussy to fuck. Like, that's what most people do, but not Boogie. There's no need to take exuberant trips with these people. There's like, he's saying that Boogie has said that some of like most of these escapades with these women were just times where he's you know, already like at an event or something like that, which I really don't believe. But he mentions like taking these women to Disneyland and, you know, really expensive dinners and like shit like that. Once again, like you've already paid the fee, like just fucking get out. But he's literally like paying for a literal fucking girlfriend experience with an escort. Now you would think, you know, that maybe if you saw a decline or soon to be decline in your income, you would prepare for that sort of thing. Well, we're talking about the B-bomb. You really think we'd come to that conclusion? Come on now. Well, you know, obviously the answer is no. He constantly talks about the amount of money he needs to survive every month. All while he's surrounded by a plethora of knickknacks, fucking arcade machines, figurines, toys, a bunch of bullshit that he doesn't need to a bunch of bullshit that he doesn't need to survive, essentially. A bunch of gimmicky items that, you know, they all cost dinero, partner. Like, it's pretty simple. If you sell these things or X off these purchases, like, it wouldn't be a problem. Like, my man literally fucking he literally fucking his TV started making a weird S noise or whatever, and because his TV is his one source of happiness, he fucking went to buy a sound bar to fix the sound, and it arrived the next day, and magically his TV started working again. And you know, it's whatever. You can always return that sound bar. You don't need to keep it. But does he think of that? No, obviously not.
I've told the audience, I've told you guys, I've told everybody, this is the center of my world, right here in this recliner with my dogs, watching television, playing video games on that television. But the other day, the audio on this TV started to go out, and whenever it would make like S sounds, it would crackle. And so I know I'm budgeting, but I immediately went to Amazon and bought a sound bar for $100. And then the next day, the TV stopped crackling. And now I have a $100 sound bar that I don't need. But I know I'm supposed to be budgeting right now, but because that's my TV, because that's my only source of entertainment, because it's the only thing I do, it's one of the only things that bring me peace, like I'm like, I have to be able to hear my fucking TV.
Like, bro, if you can't afford, like, all your shit, if times are tough, like, you need to change your lifestyle. It's as simple as that. Like, budget out what you don't need and, like, keep what's absolutely necessary. Like, it's not that hard to figure out. That doesn't include, you know, Diablo 4.
Diablo 4 came out, I had to buy it.
Or, you know, Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy 16 came out, I had to buy it.
Or whatever other fucking game you're talking about. And I'm pretty sure you've barely played these titles, by the way. I'm pretty sure I've seen clips or people have said on the internet that you know they found like your PlayStation account because it's a it's a very accessible thing, and it barely shows you having any playtime in these games. So why are they so necessary, and why did you have to buy them? Like,
The mental gymnastics you go through. Jesus fucking Christ.
but just downsize, man. Sell off your shit. Move somewhere else. Like, if you can't afford where you live, like there's no shame in it. Like these are things that could be figured out and adjusted. It's just pure willingness to unchange and laziness. Like, more like an unwilling desire to change. No matter how many times you utter that you desperately want to change. You know, change is a funny thing. You always bring up every couple months how you're trying to do this, that, and the third when it comes to, you know, changing things about your personal lifestyle, you know, like weight, exercise, stuff like that. But there's never any visual change. Well, there's like, you know, some surface stuff, but that's all it is surface. Like when you post how I don't remember the video exactly, but you posted how like you have like this trainer like after your fight, and like it doesn't seem like you're really doing that anymore, but you know, I digress. Nobody really sees this change because things are, you know, the same if not worse than they ever were. Like, you're always spewing words of how you want to change so badly, but your actions never reflect such thing. Huge case in point. You're done with the drama, alright? I've never in my goddamn life seen anybody who's supposedly done with the drama talk about drama and bring up things that seed drama to your detractors so fucking much. Like, you're always doing it. Like, you know exactly what you're doing, Bugs. We're not dumb. Granted, there's some people in the audience, very few, who are on your side. I haven't really seen many people on your side, but, you know, I'm sure there are. But, you know, good for you. It's a bump in views and a slight relevancy for you, however long it lasts, for whenever you're, you know, doing this bullshit. So congrats. But at least fucking own up to it, you know? Like, don't say you're done with the drama and, you know, you're continuing to fucking add jet fuel to this fucking tiny little campfire. Like, you keep posting on your own channel extended versions of these fucking, like, of Mike's documentary, and like you keep, like, there's certain parts where you're like, oh, this is dark, it's funny, but you keep emphasizing how it's dark and it's like sad, but you try to like ploy it with that it's funny, and it's weird, man. It's fucking weird.
This is your
It's my girlfriend.
your girlfriend, who is much younger than you. It's suspiciously.
I mean, she's an adult. She's 20.
You know, it's never good when you say, "Well, she's an adult."
All right, Mr. Booger, fair enough. But the fact that the first thing that you bring up is that she's an adult when your guys' dynamic is brought up is fucking weird and wild. Like, and you know this. Now, what he's doing is legal, but, like, is it necessarily moral? Like I said, you mentioned several times how you understand the situation is creepy, or how people might interpret it as weird or creepy from their point of view, which, you know, leads me to the question, if you know people think it's so fucking weird, why are you doing it? You spew so much about how, like, you guys love each other and how much you guys connect and blah blah, a bunch of bullshit, but, like, let's be real here. Like, how much do you really know a human being within a year? You really don't. Like, that, like, and that goes for anybody. It's not just your guys' situation. That's for anybody in for a relationship, friendship. Like, you don't truly know people within a year's time. Like, it takes a lot longer. Like people are complicated things. But in Boogie's situation, how much do you think he really knows someone, especially a person who's still developing mentally, which Boogie's girlfriend is? She's 20. Her brain, like, her brain still isn't technically fully developed, brother. Like, is that not weird to you? Like, you're almost 30 years her senior. Like, that's why people are so fucking grossed out by you and your behavior. This is why people think you're taking advantage or manipulating her. Like, the cottonmouth is kicking my ass, bro. She's a naive young girl. And you're mentally unstable, morbidly obese, and according to you, which is the only thing I truly, actually, really believe from you, a dying 50-year-old man. This is why people think you're fucking creepy. Now, the weirdest and most absurd thing to me, and I can't believe I haven't heard anybody really address this, and probably one of the main points that, like, finally drove the nail in the head for me to make a video about this. Why the fuck do you carry her ID in your wallet? Post edit. I couldn't find the specific clip of him saying that he has her ID in his wallet, but I found a clip of him just saying that he'll send it to somebody, so, you know he's willing to dox. Like, not maliciously, but stupidly.
How old is your girlfriend?
20.
20. Okay.
She's
When
an
I
adult.
was- when I
I
was-
will send you her ID, Tommy.
What if
No,
she's
let's
like-
not do that. Let's not do
You
that.
not.
That's
I've been
a
getting a lot of hell dating a 20-year-old girl because I'm a 49-year-old man. I get it. I understand it's creepy and it's weird. Hell, if I was dating anybody, it's creepy and weird because I'm involved. I get that, okay?
Think about that for a second. Like, I've never been in any scenario where I've felt the need to, like, carry my significant other's ID with me at all times. Like, sure, if we're out, like, at a bar and she doesn't want to carry her purse, I'll hold on to it. But it's just actively in your wallet at all times. And it seems like you're just willing, like, so willy-nilly to, like dox her, like, not, like, in the sense of doing it maliciously, but you're just a fucking idiot. Like, I've seen clips where you're just like, oh, like, dude, I'll send you her ID, blah blah blah, and if I find them, I'll show them. But you're just so willing to send them out to people on the internet, and, like, what if that person gets hacked, and then, oh, looky here, now your girlfriend's personal information is all exposed and out there, but, you're just so willing to, prove her age and prove your point, whatever that is. Like, dude, sure, you're not a file, but, like, none of what you're doing, like, helps people think you're not a weird fucking guy. Like, it's absurd. Like, I don't understand. I really don't get it, Boogie. I really don't. You're constantly the forefront of your own problems, and there's nobody else to blame but yourself. So there's so much more I could go into, but like I said, there's already a fuck ton of videos that cover, Boogie Master Flex and his various adventures. But, you know, these few points I just kind of wanted to harp on. Now, obviously, I spent a lot of time ripping into this record, but it's not like I have a personal vendetta or I, you know, just fucking outright hate the guy. I don't know him, you know. I've never met him. I've never talked to him. Never interacted with him in a stream or anything. I maybe watched like a few Francis videos when I was a wee lad, but that's about it. You know what I mean? In all honesty, I'd like to see him not be a complete and utter fuck up. But, you know, it's Boogie. It's probably unlikely. And considering the fact that Boogie's a 50-year-old, like, it's hard for people that old to change. So he's very most certainly, like, stuck in his ways. So, yeah. That's a little look at Boogs from, you know, my perspective. Just misery and dread.
I'm ready to game, bro. Who's ready? Come on, who's ready?